All right, before I get into the long version, here's the short version. After talking with Muda from Some Ordinary Gamers, talking with my YouTube contacts, and talking with Evans as well as a couple different developers, here's how I think you can basically be sure that this isn't going to be an issue for you. One, I no longer believe that simply replying to, watching a video, or getting a comment from a YouTube channel is any indication that you have been or will be in trouble of having your YouTube account hacked. What you need to do is three things. One, just update your YouTube passwords. I mean, this is something people should do most often anyway. It takes a few minutes, but you should. Two, if you're a YouTuber, make today the day you enable two-factor authentication. All right, that will also rule out basically anyone else getting access. Three, review your Google security checkup. If you go to Google from your Google account and then you search for a security checkup, you'll see your security account. And now if you have multiple Google accounts, you'll need to do this for each one, but it'll show your devices, your two-step verification stuff, but also, most importantly, it'll show you third-party access. This will be accounts that you have historically given access to your Google account. Maybe it's Spotify, or maybe it's TubeBuddy, or one of these other outdated plugins or something like that you're not using. If you're not using it, definitely remove it. If you are worried about being up to date and having possible vulnerabilities, then strongly consider removing it, even temporarily. You can always add it back once everything is calmed down a little bit. Now let's get into all of the new information we found and in a better description of how to protect yourself. And as always, please help share this video out by leaving a like, a comment, and getting it out on YouTube. I think if we can really spread the word for everyone to get these three easy things done, it takes you 5 minutes, and it's probably going to protect you not only from this one, but many other possibilities down the road. This is just good practice to do a couple times a year. Now let's get into the video. All right, what's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from TheQuartering, and a big update on the whole wannabe friends thing. A lot more information has come out. I've been talking with Evans. I've been talking with Muda from Some Ordinary Gamers. I've been talking with people at YouTube. I want to start by giving a couple of like stress relieving updates. First of all, it appears extreme. I have been flooded with emails asking, holy crap, I got this comment on my channel. What's up? It is based on everybody I've talked to, both Muda and YouTube and a few other folks. I'm going to guess that it is extremely unlikely, like getting hit by lightning 3 different times in the same day, that being commented on the wannabe friends or replying to that comment or even visiting that YouTube channel at this point would put you at any kind of risk. There has been more information that's been gathered. I think you could probably breathe a sigh of relief there. I don't think, I no longer think that this person has any kind of insider access at YouTube. One of the initial ideas was that they could see inside of your analytics and guess, you know, basically mention what you're saying or make a comment about, you know, congrats on 30,000 subscribers. And how do they know you had 30,000 subscribers? It appears that they're just basically looking at your current subscriber count and then adding a number to it. It's just a bot. I believe that this comment is just a bot. So again, to be clear, yes, there are absolutely compromised accounts, which I'm going to talk about. I no longer believe, and I think between talking to Muda and talking to Evans and talking to a couple other developers, it is extremely unlikely that interacting with or just having this comment on your video would put you at any kind of risk. There's no evidence currently that supports that replying to a YouTube comment that is made within the YouTube system would put you at risk. There's likely some spoofing going on, which is what I'm going to talk about, and also some possible vulnerabilities on OAuth tokens somewhere. Now, what is an OAuth token? Well, simply put, it's like if you allow Facebook access, or if you're signing up for a new website and it's like, oh, instead of creating a new account, you can just use your Facebook login, which means Facebook has some sort of access. There are a number, and after talking to Muda, he thinks this is the most likely. I'd say it's definitely quite likely that something with access to a YouTube account. Let's say there was an old YouTube app that YouTubers use for analytics. He talks about TubeBuddy and another one, vidIQ or something like that. It's probably, if they're probably not the ones that are vulnerable, it's probably some old YouTube authentication app that stopped getting updated, that became compromised. So before I go any further, again, to summarize, I don't think interacting, viewing, or watching videos on this person's YouTube channel has put anyone at risk. 2, I think you should audit the third-party access that you've given. So if you go inside of, Chrome or Firefox, and if you look at, for example, your add-ons or extensions, and then where you've given access, just audit that. Make sure, one, is this something I'm still using? Is this something that still has access? This is just a good thing to do in terms of, I don't know, good security habits. Now, in terms of Will's channel that's been hacked, YouTube has been in contact with him, and they've escalated it. So I anticipate that he will get his account back quite soon. Another theory that is still a live theory is most likely, if it isn't an OAuth, out of date kind of issue, it's coming from linking off the site and spoofing some sort of two-factor authentication. I talked about this in the original video, that Discord requires two-factor authentication. Maybe they had figured out a way to do that. Or here's another also possible idea, is that over the years there have been password dumps. I've had my old password leaked from some random website. It's how people got into my Hulu account like a year ago or something like that. I was like, I don't watch whatever show kept showing up, SVU or something like that. And I realized, oh, this is one of those old passwords that I used to have set up on my Reddit. And then there are bots that will test that password, your username and password, against multiple sources. None of that matters. What you need to do, what you need to think about is 2 things, especially if you use YouTube. Maybe consider changing your password today and updating it. And also, if you're a YouTuber content creator, this is no longer negotiable. You must enable two-factor authentication. I think these 2 things, if you all update your passwords today, enable two-factor authentication, and also a third thing, just audit whatever extensions you might have given access, whether it's in Chrome or Firefox or something like that. Just audit those. I think you're going to remove 99.99999% of the risk. So Muda, in the DMs, I talked to him from some Orignal gamers. He said it's in his opinion also that this sort of thing just isn't possible on the YouTube site itself, whether that's interacting with comments of the accounts. This will not compromise your account, nor should they. The HTML should be on lock in layman's terms. Those are his words. I'm reading from DMs. That's why I'm not switching over. He also says, however, the likely scenario is that another site or app that people are giving permissions to is vulnerable in some sort of attack. These tokens/permissions are you giving other apps or websites are getting in the hands of someone using these accounts to bot comments on YouTube. It's not confirmed, but in his opinion, this is the most likely scenario. Again, updating your password, enabling two-factor authentication, and auditing your access will basically remove all risk at this point, all reasonable amounts of risk. He says also the best way to prevent a compromised account is going through Google's third-party access in security checkup section. You can Google that. In fact, let me bring it up actually for you so you can see, because I think that's important that we see this. All right, so if you just Google security checkup, Google security checkup, it'll bring this up. And now you can, remove your devices. Here you can have third-party access is shown here. It shows that I have 3 apps that have access. So this is another thing you can do. So essentially this video is just a cure-all, right? How to prevent it. Update your passwords, 2-factor authentication, do your security checkup on Google, and that's, it's gonna basically put you in a just fine position. Now, I've also talked further with Evans, and a few people have put out some videos saying, oh, this just isn't possible. And I think that initially the reaction was, hey, don't go to this channel, don't watch the videos, don't comment on them, because we didn't know anything at the time, and it's just way better to be safe than sorry. There's nothing inside those videos that were relevant that you needed to see, so it was better just to avoid them. That's why the very first video I'm uploading today is updating that scenario and also giving you the information that between talking to YouTube, talking to people who are more intelligent on the matter, this seems like the most logical solution. What app is giving access right now to these people? We don't know. But if you take the initiative and you remove any apps that are old or that you don't use, like, do I think this is a problem with Spotify or Discord? It's extraordinarily unlikely. But could it be some old plugin? Yes. And could it be from a password leak that happened 5 years ago and just, 100,000 passwords leaked, 2,000 of them worked for YouTube, and that's all that they needed. And then they put this credentials in, and they're just botting comments. Entirely possible. A lot of these are possible, but all of these scenarios are corrected by the steps I outlined beforehand. Now, YouTube is aware of the scenario. I know that YouTube has seen the video, and they're looking into it. They're also helping Will's channel to get restored. So, if nothing else, be wary of offering access to your YouTube account for any app. Honestly, yes, it's convenient, but then you are reliant on somebody else. You're only as strong as the weakest link in your chain. So we found out a lot over the weekend. I think that if you follow these steps, which now I'm thinking about it, this video is mostly stream of consciousness, so I'm going to record an intro that just puts these things together. And I think that will be okay. Hopefully, YouTube will find out which app this was, or if it was from the password dump, just people updating their password should fix it. So I still want to be friends with you. This is how you can avoid getting your account hacked or botted or subbed. And YouTube's going to handle the guy who is botting his subs, certainly. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay safe out there. I've got probably 7 videos for you today, so keep checking back on the channel because notifications are not reliable. We'll talk to you again real soon.